Hey kids, Dad here. It is Saturday, August 22nd, right around 2 in the afternoon. And it's a wonderful sunny August day. Not too hot, not a cloud in the sky. It was a beautiful, beautiful midday for a 10K. Put me right on pace for another 100-mile month. And yesterday was a busy full day. The dog kennel grand opening yesterday, so I got to see a whole bunch of friends and a lot of hugs and handshakes and giving some tours to people who'd never been down here before of the house, which is always fun to have company, to have visitors. So, interesting thing, really interesting that I want to talk about is I don't know what we'll call this one. We'll call this one gratitude for Jose. So I don't think I've mentioned this to you kids recently, but there's a 16-year-old kid out in California. His name is Jose. He's a pretty good kid, from everything I can tell. I've never met him in person. There's a friend of mine named Gilbert, who's a big 6'7" former college football player, big strong guy, and he's probably around my age, late 30s, early to mid 40s, and he's a sober guy. And a lot of what he does is he works with kids. He's a football coach, and he works with a lot of kids who have alcohol and drug problems. By kids, I think they're mostly teenagers, and he's really good with kids. He's got that football coach mentality, but like that football coach who's not just a jerk, right? The one who's actually a fun football coach. So he, in the work he does, he goes to a lot of places where these young kids go, like little youth treatment centers. So anyhow, he'd met this kid named Jose a number of months back, and Jose, 16 years old. The kid, I think he was 15 when Gilbert met him. The kid got a month or two of sobriety, of avoiding drugs and alcohol. Got like halfway through the book, our book that tells us how to do it, how to live sober. And then the kid made some bad decisions. Went back into a bottle, drugs, whatever his vices are. And his life just keeps getting worse and worse. 16 years old, this kid feels like he's in quicksand. Like he's suffocating. Like his life's going down the drain. 16 years old. Cav, if you don't think this kid reminds me of you, man, you're not paying attention. So anyhow, what's been cool about this kid is yesterday, he was 5 days sober. And yesterday, we got through the 4th chapter in the book. So what happened is Gilbert reached out to me and said, "Hey, Ryan, you're pretty good at taking guys through the book." And I kind of chuckled because I don't know that I'm any good at it. I've done it a handful of times. I like to read it as if I'm reading it with you kids. I use all the little tips and tricks that I use with you kids, reading books with you kids. I just use that with other alcoholics going through this 12-step book. So mostly I try and keep it playful. I keep it interactive. I make it a dialogue, a conversation. I change the tone of my voice a little bit sometimes. I have fun with it. I try and make it engaging. So anyhow, Gilbert asked me if I had some time, which I did, ironically. My day job just ended. I just lost my day job. So I told some people, hey, if you got anything you need help with, I have some time the weeks ahead. So it was one of those little God shots where just Gilbert had a 16-year-old kid. And he was looking for someone to help take this kid through the book. I had this time in my hands. And I think Gilbert looked at it and thought, well, I've taken this kid through the book before, but Gilbert's very humble, and Gilbert recognizes that, he's not maybe the strongest reader. He's got a guy has a ton of gifts, but reading through the book probably isn't the strongest one. And I've got a ton of defects, ton of things I'm not good at, but I'm probably average at reading through a book. So each of the last 5 days, I've gotten on a Zoom meeting with this kid, Jose. Gilbert's been on most of them, but some he had to step away. And a couple other guys, a couple other sober buddies. So it ends up being a group of anywhere from 4 to 6 or 7 of us. And we just take turns reading paragraphs. And as we go, I'll kind of, point things out or ask questions. And we're just learning what the book says, right? What does the book tell us about things like why we drink? What does the book tell us about things like God? Like, how do we think about God? What does the book tell us about these 12 steps we have to take to have this amazing life? Well, that's what we're learning. That's what we're finding out. And the really, really cool thing, why I'm so grateful for this, Jose, is in my world, I spend a lot of time in these support group meetings with people who consider themselves alcoholics or drug addicts. And a lot of them don't do the work. They pop onto a meeting, they say how terrible their life's gotten, how they need help, but then they're not willing to pick up the book and read the book with somebody. Okay, it's their choice. They're not ready yet. Perfectly fine. But this Jose, his first 5 days sober, he's gotten through all of the preface, forwards, the introductory stuff, plus the first 4 chapters. He's shown up every night from about 8:30 at night until 10 p.m. to go through the next chapter of the book. And the really, really cool magic of it is, in doing this, I'm thinking in my head, this kid's 16 years old. The book we're reading was published in 1939. It's published by a bunch of grown men. How is a 16-year-old kid going to be able to get this stuff? It's going to make any sense to him. But then there's this 10 p.m. meeting that I go to, again, based out of California, and this Jose kid's on there, and I hear him sharing in that meeting and talking to other people. And the things he's saying are right out of the book. But he's taken these things from the book, these principles, these concepts, these ideas from the book, he's putting them into his own words. And he's talking about, how cool it's been, what he's been doing this past week. Sitting around with a group of guys, going through this book, picking through it, seeing what it actually says. And how he's just remaining open-minded, willing, and honest. Open-minded, willing, honest. That's exactly what the book asks us to do. And he's telling people that's what he's doing. And he's doing it. And he's talking about how he doesn't understand God. He doesn't really care for religion. But as chapter 4 points out, we don't have to understand God. That's okay. Maybe God is something our little tiny human brains can't understand. What the book asks us to do is to seek God. We have to seek God. We don't have to find him. We have to look for him. Just like a game of hide and go seek. Maybe God is a really good hider. Not my job to find him. I win the game just by looking for him. That's enough to unlock this amazing life in sobriety, where I have less money than ever, more happiness than ever. I have less things than ever. I have more joy than ever. I have less reason to celebrate all the shiny objects, fancy jobs, titles, social status. I have less of that than ever, but I have more freedom than ever. It's the magic in sobriety. That's what this book's unlocked for me. And it's really cool to hear this Jose kid recognizing that and able to share that with others. So tonight I get to go do another couple hours with him, go through the next chapter. We're at the part in the book where it starts getting fun. He's gone through steps 1 and 2. Tonight we're going to go through 3 and 4, which are big ones. And then tomorrow night it'll be the rocket ship into step 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. All those are packed into one chapter, chapter 6. So I'm grateful for Jose. Open-minded, willing, honest. The kid has those things in spades. He's a smart kid. So today, kids, if you're going to say a prayer pray for Jose. And I really think he's a great example. Hopefully, maybe for you kids one day, if you kids find yourself that drugs or alcohol have become a part of your life in a way that you do not want, if 16-year-old Jose out in California can do it, I have faith that there's a solution that'll work for you kids too. If that day ever comes, I hope you look me up, have that conversation, say, hey, Dad, I need some help. And I'll say, hey, I know a kid who is just like you are right now. Let me connect you with him. You might have some tools to help you. Love you, kids. We'll talk soon.